Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Felicia Lawrence, and before we get to those stories, we have to share the weather story that we're experiencing. Another sunny, beautiful day outside. Meteorologist Sean Ash is here tracking it for us as we head towards 90.
Gonna be close. We hit 89 yesterday. I think we'll be, if we don't hit 90, we won't be far from it either way, and above average. 78, 79 is our average high. We're going to be above that every day in our 7-day forecast. Let's start out with the sunshine that we have. Get out our noon plans. No worries. If you like it warm, you're going to like today. And if you like dry heat, you'll like today as well, because that's exactly what we have. Officially 78 at the Indy Airport, 83 in Terre Haute, 75 in Muncie, and this hour 73 in Merriam, but already have several locations near 80 degrees. Expanding the map because I want to show you what's driving our weather. It's a coastal low, and the wind flow around that is from a dry direction, east and northeast. We might have a little high cloud cover from time to time, but overall, we're going to have plenty of sunshine here, and we can show you this on our visible satellite. So just a little thin layer of high cloud cover, and with the heating of the day, we may see a few scattered low-level clouds, but it is going to be a dry afternoon. These are the current temperatures, and these are the expected highs and where we are compared to 24 hours ago. About 2 degrees cooler in Indy. Look at those dew points, relatively dry in the 50s. And here's the forecast highs from upper 80s to lower and possibly some middle 90s. No big break in this weather pattern. We'll have that. Get you ready for what looks to be a warm weekend here in just a few minutes.
All right, a warm weekend on tap. Thank you so much, Sean. And this afternoon, we are following the latest developments in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. The 22-year-old suspected shooter, Tyler Robinson, is expected in court to be formally charged. And that shooting happened at a campus event at Utah Valley University last Wednesday, prompting a massive wave of reaction across the political spectrum. And some of those reactions now are getting stern warnings from political leaders, like our Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita. Attorney General Rokita is using the Eyes on Education portal. It's an online portal which allows parents and community members to submit social media posts from educators that they find concerning. Well, his office says so far they have received hundreds of submissions. Just this week, a woman working at the Department of Child Services lost her job over a comment made online where the department deemed it poor taste. And we know employees at Danville Community Schools in Ball State are under investigation for their comments as well. We'll continue to follow updates on today's hearing for the suspected shooter, and we will have more details on the investigation out of Utah. That's coming up at 12:15, so don't move. New at noon, Governor Mike Braun now offering an update on Republican efforts to redraw congressional district lines here in Indiana. Well, today's update came after the governor announced a new workforce training initiative at the State House. Braun now says a special session to focus on redistricting could come anytime from early November through the earliest part of the 2026 session. But he said it'll likely happen earlier rather than later. Governor Braun says he wants it to happen organically, so they do not host a special session unless it's going to be successful. Emily Longnecker spoke with the governor and Democratic lawmakers today. She will join us on 13 News at 5 with that story. And this afternoon, Metro Police say they have arrested a 16-year-old boy in connection to a July homicide. So we know that 20-year-old Edier Hernandez Rivera was killed in that shooting on the city's south side. And it happened around 12:46 the morning of July 25th. Police were called to Griffin Road for a crash. That's when they found Hernandez Rivera in a car with gunshot wounds. He was rushed to the hospital but later died. Detectives issued a warrant for the arrest of the 16-year-old Friday. He was arrested yesterday in Carmel. A father is in court after his 2-year-old daughter accidentally shot and killed herself. Police think it happened on the city's July. IMPD says 2-year-old Harmony Anderson was taken to Methodist Hospital for a gunshot wound, but then later died. 23-year-old Leonte Anderson is charged with neglect of a dependent resulting in death. In August, U.S. Marshals and officers with the Chicago Police Department found Leonte and arrested him. He's in court today for a bail review hearing. A Zionsville man is spending 40 years in prison for child molestation charges. A jury found 52-year-old Jeffrey Alexander guilty in July. He was given a repeat sexual offender enhancement due to a 1993 conviction for child molesting. In this most recent case, a minor reported repeated inappropriate contact with Alexander at his home. The enhancement added 10 years to his 30-year sentence. A man on death row is fighting to avoid the death penalty, and his fight is giving us a better understanding of how the state carries out the punishment. As 13 Investigates reporter Sierra Putman explains, there have been concerns over the lack of transparency when it comes to executions.
These state documents were released as part of an appeal by Roy Lee Ward. For the first time, we see in state records that Indiana uses pentobarbital, and it appears the state paid $275,000 for a dose, which aligns with past statements from the governor. The documents also appear to show the state destroyed 3 doses of the drug, 1 by fire and 2 by being poured in kitty litter. Pentobarbital is an FDA-approved drug to be used on humans to help with seizures and for animal executions. However, it has also led to some controversy because there is uncertainty if it may cause unnecessary pain and suffering, concerns that have come up after 2 recent executions here in Indiana, which is part of the argument Ward's attorneys are using to fight his execution. He was sentenced to death after pleading guilty to raping and killing 15-year-old Stacey Payne back in 2001 in southern Indiana.
All right, Sierra, and Ward's execution is scheduled for October 10th. His clemency hearings are next week, and all of this is a growing debate. It's a part of a growing debate concerning the cost and how Indiana carries out the death penalty. Well, lawmakers have signaled that they plan to address this during the next legislative session. And some much-needed updates could soon be coming to a mall on the Far East Side. People living near Washington Square Mall have complained about its condition for years. And new Marion County court docs say the health department found multiple violations at the mall, including a leaky roof and ceiling damage, inadequate air conditioning and heat, and 2 outdoor violations for high weeds, grass, and trash. Property manager Keith Lee Jr. says the property owners, Durga Property Holdings, those are the owners, they inherited problems when they bought the mall back in 2019. And City County Councilor Michael Paul Hart says fixing the mall is one of the reasons that he ran for office. He says he's tried to contact the property owners, but no luck there. And he's now reaching out to possible developers about buying the mall. The current owners are due in court Thursday. And Franklin Township school leaders are supporting a proposed 468-acre Google data center project. So they initially expressed they were opposed to the project, but now the superintendent says the city and Google are working as partners. Some community members are still concerned about the build, but ultimately it's going to come down to money. A statement from the superintendent says in part, the agreement reached with the city of Indianapolis and Google ensures that fair property tax revenue flows to our schools. That means this project strengthens school funding and those dollars benefit students and teachers, end quote. For months, residents have rallied against the project, posting signs and staging protests. At least 15 city county councilors have come out against it. If that number holds, it could sink the plans. So we will find out when the council votes next week.